All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Top 2 Pod. Now also live on YouTube. So we're giving this a shot for the first time this weekend. Eric, how's it going?
Going good, going good. I know y'all are anxious to see my ugly mug.
I know, we finally get to see it. You know what, Eric? I won't say anything about your face, but your room is a lot more decorated than mine. I just got a white wall behind me.
I got the memorabilia up, mostly Pats and Batman.
It's got a little local Baltimore video game art on my left. I'm leaving this blank right here on my right. This is where I'm gonna put the championship jersey from the Top 2 challenge. All right, so this is gonna be what we're gonna be trying out on the weekends here. This will be we're gonna update you on all the news and injury updates, and then we're gonna do start-sit questions submitted by our listeners only. So we have about a dozen start-sit questions. Excited about that. Thank you for submitting those. And we are let's go ahead and just jump right into the injury and updates because Eric, we got a lot of guys that we have updates on today.
All right, so unfortunately for my Mike Davis owners, Chris Carson will play. Notice the excitement in my voice. Yeah, I'm not touching any Seahawk this week. Not playing the Rams. No. Are you Matt, what's the lowest of the low for Russell Wilson this week? Like I keep seeing people ask who to start, Russell Wilson or example A. I'm going to throw some out there. Would you start Marcus Mariota or Russell Wilson this week?
Marcus Mariota.
Would you start Baker Mayfield or Russell Wilson?
I would start. I'm going to double check here. Eric, I am using rankings on top2sports.com as a marking point. I have Baker Mayfield at 22 and Russell Wilson at 23. So I would start Baker Mayfield over Russell Wilson. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Moving on. That's all I wanted.
That's all you wanted?
That's all I wanted out of that. I didn't want to start.
All right.
But yeah, not good. Not good this week against the Rams. Did you see the video? Did you see the video of Ndamukong Suh and the Rams defensive line going through like the pass rush drills, and Ndamukong Suh just walked up to the dummy and like punched it?
I did not see that. No.
You need to look it up like immediately. It's so funny. He literally just walks right up and like stiff right straight to the face. It was hilarious.
That is hilarious.
All right. Dalvin Cook will be a game time decision. He plans to be on a pitch count. Where do they play? The Eagles. Are you touching Dalvin Cook this week?
Dude, this is killing me. This is absolutely killing me. I have been shopping Dalvin Cook in my 3-keeper league all day. Or not all day, I should say all week. I can't get rid of the guy.
Okay.
It's a real tough spot to be a Dalvin Cook owner, man. Here's my decision, Eric. I mean, I could start Dalvin Cook or Alex Collins at this point this week in my flex spot. Who would you start?
I think you're going to have to start Cook because I don't know if Collins is going to play.
Collins did practice on Friday.
He did? He's back?
Yeah.
All right.
Jump into another point. That was another point on our injuries here.
I'd roll with Cook, I guess.
Oh, no, man. It's so tough.
I don't know if I'd give up on Cook yet. Like, I know it looks ugly right now, but, like, give it, like, 2 or 3 more weeks. They've had a rough schedule to, like, play against. I'm not ready to give up on Dalvin Cook yet.
I don't know. The pitch count, man. The pitch count is what's killing me on Dalvin Cook.
That does bother me some. Yeah. But I don't know. Browns.
It's gross.
Yeah, it's a rough call. It's a rough one.
It's a really gross call. I mean, I think I have like Nelson Aguilar on that bench. I mean, I don't know.
Is it a flex or is it running back?
I got Kenyon Drake on the bench. I can put him in the flex.
Okay. In that case, I might go Aguilar.
Yeah, you think? Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on here. I don't know. I can't talk. The thing about Dalvin Cook is I guess you got to fire him up. Like, you invested a second-round capital. If you don't have a clear second choice, I guess you got to go with Dalvin Cook.
My bigger concern instead of the injuries are the O-line. His O-line's terrible. It's really bad. Like, I don't see that getting better. I see the injuries. He's going to get healthy at some point. The injuries or the O-line, I don't know what you plan to do there, but it's got to get better for him. Like, this is like the floor for him. He's got to go more towards the ceiling.
Are the Vikings the most disappointing team in the NFL right now? I just feel like their offense is not what we expected it to be.
Well, Kirk's been throwing for like 400 yards. He threw 400 yards in 2 games this season. I don't know if it's on.
Yeah, no, he's doing good.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue. Them, the Steelers, the Falcons. Although the Falcons, I feel bad saying the Falcons because they're just injured. Yeah, it's
the Falcons keep losing by 6 points at least. I mean, these other guys are just getting. I don't know, man. The Vikings are just so frustrating for me.
I hear you. Only week 5 though. We're starting off slow. By the way, great start to week 5. Josh Gordon. I see all you people saying he's not Randy Moss. Made a very Randy Moss-like play.
I don't know why we need to keep comparing him to Randy Moss. Why can't he just be Josh Gordon?
Dude, I mean, it was starting to die down going into this week, and after that catch, it's going to ramp right back up.
Ramp right back up. All right. Corey Davis was battling through an illness this week. Corey Davis will play. Eric, are you high on Corey Davis going into tomorrow?
Higher than I was on Corey Davis. I was considerably lower on Corey Davis than most people, I will admit. But after last week, I mean, I want to see him do it again. I want to see consistency from Corey Davis. I don't think he's a bad player at all. I think he's got talent, but I need to see consistency. That is the key in fantasy football. I think going against the Bills, he's probably going to be matched up with Tre'Davious White a lot. He's a very good corner. So if Corey Davis can have a day against him, I'll buy in.
Yeah, Corey Davis is my wide receiver 23 this week. He is the wide receiver 20 overall for the top 2 crew. If you're not familiar with our rankings, we have 6 of our writers that do rankings. Me, Eric, Josh Padgett, Mark Szymanski, Mike Wallace, and Chris Nelson. So 23 is actually right in the middle. Josh has him at 18 as well as Mark. I mean, he's playing the Buffalo Bills this week, and he gets a ton of volume. He's a must start for me if you got him.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right. I like it. Sammy Watkins, hamstring injury questionable. Playing the Jaguars, are you starting Sammy even if Kansas City is starting Sammy?
It's a good question because I have him in a dynasty league. Don't think I am starting him though. This is tough. I just have a feeling I think the Chiefs might actually do some good against the defense. I don't know. I saw an interesting stat that said the last 6 times, the top scoring defense went against the top scoring offense. The last 6 times, it's 5-1 in favor of this top scoring offense. Would shock the hell out of me. So, yeah, I'll roll Sammy Watkins out with a flex.
Top scoring offense in the league right now over LA.
Yeah, they're number 1
over the Rams. Wow,
I know, surprising. So many high-scoring offenses. It's absurd. Offense is the way of the NFL now. But yeah, I'll roll Sammy Watkins out there. Too many weapons to account for in that Kansas City offense. You got to think he's got to get at least like 3 to 4 plays or 3 to 4 chances to make a big play. So, yeah, I'll roll Sammy Watkins out there. I don't know.
You're the only one who – no, that's not true. Only 2 out of 6 of our writers ranked Sammy Watkins in the top 36 this week.
Where did I have him? I had him low, right? Yeah, 35. Yeah.
35. So would you play Jordy Nelson or Sammy Watkins? Jordy's playing the Chargers.
I'd probably go Nelson.
Yeah, me too.
Two spot difference in the rankings, but
flip it to the other side of the ball. D.D. Westbrook or Sammy Watkins?
Watkins. I can't trust any of those Jags receivers. I'm done with the Jags receivers. They're every week it's somebody different. I'm done with that.
Well, I can't wait till later. I'm going to make you – one of our questions is you got to pick one of them. So I'm going to give you some time to think about it, but you're going to have to pick one today.
Pass.
All right, Marvin Jones with an ankle is questionable, Eric. That's not good.
Nope, not good at all. Good for Kenny Golladay owners, though. Is Golladay the number 1 receiver in that offense, or is it still Golden Tate?
Dude, it's Golden Tate. Golden Tate is quietly, as always, the number 4 overall wide receiver this season for fantasy purposes.
Yep.
And nobody's catching on to Golden Tate, dude. I have him ranked 5th this week because he's playing Green Bay, and he's the 4th overall wide receiver this season. You got him 20. Everyone else has him in the teens. What's going on? Why are we sleeping on Golden Tate?
This ranking this week is more to do with the fact that I think the Packers actually have a pretty good defense now. Those two corners they got, Alexander and Josh Jackson, are legit. I'm buying in on those two. It says a lot more about them than it does about Golden Tate for me.
Golden Tate's got 44 targets so far this season.
I understand that, but I'm starting to buy in on the Golladay. I'm already bought in on the Golladay train, but Mike Wallace made me buy in, so I'm with Golladay now. I think he's the real deal. I think by the end of the season he'll probably surpass Golden Tate as the number one target, and Detroit should want that because Golden Tate's on his last year of his deal, so they probably will move more towards getting Golladay the ball. But Golden Tate is still usable. He's still, like you said, wide receiver 6. You said so.
He's wide receiver 4 overall in PPR, and he has the 7th most targets in the league right now.
Yeah. Got to roll him out there, especially if Jones is out. Although that's not good if Jones is out. I like all three of those guys being on the field, opening things up for them, but we'll see.
All right. This was an interesting one, Eric. A lot going on in Cincinnati this week. Gio Bernard is ruled out 2 to 4 weeks. He sustained a what was his injury?
Something with his knee.
MCL sprain. So he's out 2 to 4 weeks with an MCL sprain, which sounds oddly similar to what Joe Mixon was out with. Mixon is going to return this week, but then Marvin Lewis came out earlier today and said that he, quote, doesn't expect to fully unleash Joe Mixon against the Dolphins. What?
I mean, the second part you got here is it Walton time? I think it has to be Walton time.
Process of elimination.
Yeah, I don't even know if they have another running back. So, yeah. Although I don't know if I believe Marvin Lewis there. Say like Mixon comes on for the first series and he goes like, say he gets like a 30-yard. He gets 30 yards on like 2 or 3 touches on that first drive, and Marvin Lewis just throws his hands up like, just throw him in there.
Yeah. What? Not going to fully unleash him? Yeah, you're right, Eric. He's going to get into the game, and if Cincinnati doesn't have anybody in the running game, then they're going to be able to overload Dalton, and Cincinnati's going to collapse. I mean, I feel like this is a trap game for the Bengals now.
Could be.
And a game that shouldn't otherwise be difficult.
Dolphins came back to earth last week. I don't know about that. That's going to be a good one. I'm oddly enough, both of them are 3-1.
I mean, the Bengals have looked much better than the Dolphins this year. I know the Dolphins are 3-1, but I mean, come on.
They lost to the Panthers, right? The Bengals lost to the Panthers 2 weeks ago.
Good Panthers team.
Going against the Giants this week.
How
do you feel about that matchup this week?
We're trash. Do you see OBJ was freaking out this week? I don't blame him.
I don't even. When I see these teams in trouble, I try to like diagnose them, see what's wrong with them. I have no idea with the Giants right now. I have no idea how to fix that.
Speaking of Cincinnati, Eric, something we actually gave you a heads up on earlier this week, but the Bengals reporter Catherine Terrell expects CJ Uzomah to be Cincinnati's top tight end moving forward, not Tyler Kroft. So if you listened to us earlier this week and put a waiver wire bid on Uzomah instead of Kroft, you got to be pretty happy right now.
Yeah. I think they should utilize both of them.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. But Uzomah has been getting more targets as it is. So, I mean, I think you could be okay if you're in a pinch with Tyler Kroft. I mean, we know the tight end situation is absolutely dismal in the league this season, but if I'm picking one, it's Uzomah.
Just looked up Bengals John Ross ruled out for week 5. I like Uzomah even more now.
Josh Malone is a player to keep an eye on this week in Cincinnati as well. Second-year wide receiver out of Tennessee. Hasn't really been getting a lot of playing opportunity, but with the continued injuries, we're getting pretty low on the depth chart.
He looked good in the preseason too, didn't he? Wasn't he the one that was going off in preseason? I think he was.
Josh Malone was doing well in the preseason.
All right. Devontae Adams is questionable for tomorrow with a calf injury. This is really bad for the Packers because Randall Cobb's already out. Who's the other receiver that's – Allison. Did Allison not make it out of concussion protocol?
Not that I've heard. I'll double-check that.
Oh, dear God. If they don't have Devontae Adams tomorrow, that game gets a lot more interesting. Any shot of rolling out Marquez Valdes-Scantling? I don't even know if that's his first name.
Allison is still questionable as of Friday, which means he has not cleared concussion protocol. If you haven't cleared concussion protocol by Friday, that's usually a pretty bad sign.
Yeah. So Adams, Graham, Scantling, and EQSB, and Jamon Moore. Any interest in those three rookies?
I'm interested in Valdez Scantling. Mike McCarthy came out earlier this week and said that he was going to be the guy if the other three miss. So he did well in the preseason. We talked about that earlier this week on the podcast, Eric. If you got a flex spot, I'd say you roll one of these guys out there.
I like it. Ballsy. I went Graham over Gronk in multiple leagues this week.
Graham was listed as a full participant in Friday's practice, by the way, so he should be good to go.
Well, thank God. Speaking of good to go, Devontae Freeman is good to go for tomorrow in Pittsburgh.
Eric, earlier this week you said you're still rolling out Tevin Coleman. Are you sticking by that?
Yes, I still think they're going to throw a ton tomorrow. I like both of them for tomorrow. I think you can start both of them.
Okay, all right. I don't know. I'm pumping the brakes on both those guys, to be honest. Running backs tend to get eased back into the process, but they split carries anyways. It's hard for me to judge the volume. They're not guys I usually have on my team anyways, so they're playing Pittsburgh. Oh man, that's going to be a shootout. Although that's going to be a shootout, Pittsburgh actually hasn't been giving up a ton of points to running backs specifically. They've actually given up the 5th least points to running backs this season, although that number changes drastically when you talk about the passing game. They're doing something right.
Who did Pittsburgh play in week 2? They played the Chiefs. So, yeah, they had Kareem Hunt there. I'm thinking of the running backs they faced. Breida, Hunt, Hyde, and Chubb.
They've only allowed 296 yards and 1 touchdown against 81 carries. That is
good.
That's pretty solid, yeah, in 4 weeks.
Tomorrow's a test, though, because and they had Collins and Buck Allen last week. They don't even know how to run the ball in Baltimore. I think tomorrow's a test, though. We'll see. We'll see how good they are against the run by tomorrow.
Here's an interesting nugget, Eric, if we're talking about Tevin Coleman. They've given up 2 passing touchdowns to running backs, so that might make me lean Tevin Coleman a little bit.
I definitely like Coleman for tomorrow. I think they're just going to throw, which is bad news for my fantasy team. Thanks, guy who traded Matt Ryan. Terrible.
Thanks, Clayton. It's my man. Top 2 challenge. Yeah, Eric, what's the top 2 challenge update? We kind of washed each other out on Thursday night, right? Because we both had some big wins.
You're up by like 20-something because you have White and Hines.
I had 2 guys play, though. You only had 1 guy play.
Yeah, I had Michelle.
Yeah, I had James White get me 23.7, and Nyheim Hines got me 16 points. Eric, you had Sony Michel get you 18, and you left Andrew Luck on the bench.
Yeah, for Goff.
Oh, I left Eric Ebron on the bench. But I mean,
what, 22?
Kelsey.
Huh? You have Kelsey? Well, yeah. I mean,
he's not going to get 31 points, but I mean, going into the week, you couldn't have thought that.
Yeah. How many did Luck have? 22-ish?
22.6, yeah. The fractional scoring, yeah.
I'm expecting Goff to go past that.
All right, Eric. Sterling Shepard had a back injury. It looks like he's good to go, which is great for fantasy football owners with Sterling Shepard because, again, I expect him to get just as much, if not more, action than Odell Beckham Jr. As an Odell Beckham Jr. owner in multiple leagues, I am nervous about his ability to perform. I'm not getting my hopes up this week against Carolina.
Is Evan Ingram still out? Need some water. Is Evan Ingram died there?
Yeah, I believe Evan Ingram is. Yeah.
He's getting close to his return.
I think he's got at least another week or 2.
Yeah, I like Sterling Shepard tomorrow. Even though I'm starting the Panthers defense in one of my money leagues, better do something. But yeah, no, Shepard's been the better receiver so far this season. That's weird to say. Yeah, I like Shepard. Odell's got to have a game at some point. I think you're a little too drastic on the whole Odell situation. That's got to get better. It has to get better.
The way the offense is going is that Eli is not looking at him down the field. He's getting a lot of targets, but they're all short slant routes, and that isn't uncommon for Beckham, but he's not breaking them off. He usually breaks off from slant routes to get down the field, and he's just not doing it.
I expect starting this week after Odell came out about the offense this week, I expected him to go to Eli and say, hey, you got to throw the ball up to me a couple times.
Like, he's angry. Yeah, he's playing angry this week, and he should be.
Yeah, I expect Eli to give him some 50-50 balls this week.
All right, Eric. The last piece of news and notes here, unless you got something else for me, is that Adrian Peterson practiced Friday. He was questionable, I think, moving into Friday, but it looks like he's good to go. He had an ankle injury that he was trying to play through. Are you firing up Peterson and/or Chris Thompson this week?
Thompson definitely, because I expect him to have to throw. That's gonna, if they're gonna want to beat the Saints, they have to put up points. So Thompson, yes. Sneaky revenge game for Adrian Peterson this week against the Saints.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's got to be pissed. So I think I might throw in Adrian Peterson. I don't have any Adrian Peterson shares, but if I did, probably starting him this week. I think I would.
Yeah, Saints have also been good against running backs this season, Eric. But 213 rushing yards allowed and 144 passing yards allowed. They've also given up 18 receptions on 22 targets against running backs and given up a touchdown. So running backs are faring, pass-catching running backs, I should say, are faring pretty well, which gives me the nod to Chris Thompson.
Fair.
Even though you don't think Chris Thompson's good.
Yeah, well, if he doesn't produce on Monday, I'm going to think he's even worse.
Is that Monday Night Football this week?
That's the Monday Night Football game because Breeze is about to pass Manning for the passing yards record.
Dude, by the way, since we're talking about Manning, I know you were at the game on Thursday, but it was so annoying watching that game. You would not believe how many times they brought up Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. It was wild.
That's a good old Pats Colts game.
I'm just like that's what they were playing off the rivalry. Andrew Luck's been the quarterback on that team for like 5 years. I'm like, get over it.
Two things to add on that. Andrew Luck live. That's really why I wanted to go to the game, even though I am a Pats fan. Glad to chalk him off the list of QBs I've seen. He looked amazing with next to no weapons. Like, he looked really good. He had a lot of zip on the ball. That was great. Loved seeing that. Was very nervous at 24-3 at halftime. I'm sitting there in my chair. I'm all like, well, this kind of sucks. Like, I'm glad we're winning. I'm glad we're up, but I'm about to have to leave in the beginning of the third quarter. And then they made the comeback. I got a little nervous, and then Josh Gordon had the catch. So it was a very good game. Second thing, shout out to Tom Brady, 500 touchdown passes, 71 touchdown passes to different receivers. That's a NFL record. Tom Brady, friend of the pod. Shout out to Tom.
Actual friend of the pod.
He's not a friend of the pod, Matt. He's a friend of the pod.
Is Guy Fieri a friend of the pod too? Did you see that?
Guy Fieri is 100% a friend of the pod. Yeah, I know.
There's a hilarious meme of it was just Guy in the background of where Brady was standing, and it was like, name a more iconic duo.
There's a better one. It said this man. This is a photo of a man who's made some of the greatest drives in American history because of diners, drive-ins, and drive-thrus. The show with Guy Fieri, and then he goes, and Tom Brady. That's just perfect. I love that.
All right, Eric, let's jump into our start-sit questions, all submitted by listeners this morning. Let's start with a battle of the Joneses. Jonathan at the Sherpity,
the Sherpity Bop,
the Sherpity Boop, the
Sherpity Boop.
All right. Well, Jonathan's asking us Aaron Jones or Marvin Jones this week in a flex spot.
Aaron Jones.
Assuming Marvin Jones is healthy. Who are you going?
Aaron Jones. No receivers this week. Possibly Devontae Adams out. Randall Cobb out. Allison out. What's the best way to do that? To nullify that? Run the ball. I think this is the Aaron Jones game. Although he had a good game last week. So, Aaron Jones.
That's exactly my point. Aaron Jones looked good last week, and he's playing Detroit, who's given up the third most fantasy points to opposing running backs this season. Aaron Jones, by the way, on DraftKings is still extremely cheap. I think he's a money pick. I think about half of us have him as a running back 2 this week in our rankings. And Eric, you have him as running back 13. You're ready to go on Aaron Jones.
Yes, I am. It's going to only go higher.
He's been much more efficient than Jamal Williams, who's been the other running back getting a lot of work in Green Bay. So I agree as well. I would go Aaron Jones over Marvin Jones. Good question. Chirpity boop bop. Did I get it?
No. Move on. We're done.
All right. Eric, in a standard league, Jason Paul at Jason P. B-O-Z, Jason P. Boz, is wondering Devonta Freeman or Matt Breida. Let's assume Breida plays because I know that he is questionable with a knee injury.
They're playing the Cardinals, right? The Niners?
Yes. Yep. Who have given up the most fantasy points to opposing running backs this season. 520 yards and 7 touchdowns allowed to running backs through the ground. 21 receptions off 25 targets, 231 receiving yards, and a touchdown allowed by the Cardinals this season.
I'm going to go Breida. I'd rather have him this week. I think the Cardinals are trash. So, and plus, like you said, I do worry a little bit that Freeman might be eased back. So, yeah, I'll go Breida.
Yeah, I would agree too. I think the only reason that you would want to go against Breida would be if you're worried about snap counts, but because he's splitting with Morris, but Freeman's still going to be splitting with Coleman. So I think you got that problem either way, and you go with a player who's been doing very well this season, Matt Breida, and a much better matchup.
Sure. By the way, everybody, this is live, so I'm going to take a live break and let my dog out.
Like you're going to take it out, or you're going to let it out of the room?
No, I'm just going to let him out of the room. Bye, Luck.
Yeah. See you, buddy. What's your dog's name?
Lucky doesn't like fantasy football.
Lucky? I'm surprised you didn't name him after Brady.
Family wouldn't let me.
Did you try?
Yes.
All right, Eric. Jason submitted 2 here. He also asked in his standard league, Jarvis Landry or John Brown. That's kind of a tough one.
John Brown. I think John Brown has been he's been as advertised coming from the preseason. I like John Brown this week.
Over Jarvis Landry?
Yeah, that Ravens secondary is not one to mess with. So I'll go Brown this week.
But the Cleveland secondary isn't one to mess with either.
That is true. But Derek Carr just threw for 400 yards and like 4 touchdowns, so I'll take John Brown.
Yeah, I will also lean. I hate agreeing. I like it better when we disagree a little bit. But the advantage I should say the disadvantage that Jarvis Landry has here, he only caught 8 out of 15 targets in week 3, and he only caught 4 out of 10 targets in week 4. So Baker's missing him a lot. He only has 137 combined yards and 1 touchdown in those 2 games since Baker's been starting at the helm. That's a little concerning for me. I don't know about Jarvis Landry right now. And in a standard league, Jarvis Landry just automatically gets less interesting.
Yes, that I agree with. But I wouldn't worry yet about Landry. They had a very nice touchdown last week. That was a thing of beauty. But it's early. Give him some time. I don't expect this week to be pretty for the Browns. I think that Ravens secondary is legit. So I'll stay away from him.
Here's the question we've been waiting for. Mark Szymanski, our writer on staff.
Mark would ask this question.
He's going to make Eric pick a Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver this week. Who are you going to take, Eric? Dede Westbrook, Keelan Cole. Maybe you'll go Dante Moncrief?
I'm going Dante Moncrief.
Are you going Dante Moncrief?
Yeah, just to be annoying.
That's who you would play.
Mark. That's for you, bud.
If you had to play one of those guys, you would play Dante Moncrief. That's what you're telling me.
100%.
Troll. You're just trolling.
This is a troll move. Troll question, troll answer.
All right. I'll give a real answer here.
Hey, that was a real answer.
I
actually believe in Dante Moncrief.
Anyways, the top 2 sports rankings, that's what I'm defaulting to because I need more than one opinion on this, is telling me Keelan Cole, he's our wide receiver 31 overall this week, and Dede Westbrook, who would be the next legitimate option, is wide receiver 40 for us this week. So I'm going to go Keelan Cole. I think he has the most – I have him ranked the highest out of those guys. I think he's got the most upside out of any of those players. And if you're playing them, you're playing for upside anyways. So what are you going to do?
Serious answer, they all should have decent games this week. Kansas City's secondary is terrible. No Eric Berry this week. I mean, you could probably get away with starting all 3 of them.
All right, this is a tough one, Eric. This might be our closest one.
Mhm.
Robert Woods against Seattle or Corey Davis against Buffalo? That's coming in from Curtis Goff at Curtis D Goff _ DHH, coming in from the Dynasty Happy Hour.
I'm going to be viewed as such a Davis hater after this, but I'm still going Woods.
Yeah.
I want everything to do with the Rams offense. Anywhere I can get it, Woods, Kupp, Cooks, Gurley, Goff, want it. Yeah. Plus, Seattle's terrible.
Yeah.
Like I said, what I said earlier, Tre'Davious White, if he goes on Davis, that kind of scares me. So I'll roll with Woods.
I'm looking up target share between the Rams wide receivers, but I'm pretty sure it's there's a pretty good parity between targets here. Cooper Kupp, 32 targets on the season. Brandon Cooks, 33 targets. Robert Woods, 34 targets. It is amazing. Their stat lines are so similar, but Robert Woods has the second most receiving yards with 323 and the second most touchdowns with 3. They are coming off a huge offensive performance against Minnesota, and they've had 10 days off, Eric. All of those things make Robert Woods pretty attractive, even though Corey Davis is the only guy in Tennessee, and Buffalo hasn't been very impressive either.
I mean, it's fair, but I'm still rolling with Woods.
Let's see. I'm looking up the secondary of Seattle. Seattle and Buffalo actually have 2 decent secondaries this season in terms of allowing fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. But Buffalo's is worse. I'm going to go Robert Woods, Eric. I agree with you. And I'm not usually somebody who picks Robert Woods. So
can't stop the Rams right now. I don't think it's possible.
This is an interesting one since we've talked about Aaron Jones and we've talked about Matt Breida already. But For the Win Picks at FTW Picks on Twitter is asking us to throw Kareem Hunt into the mix against Jacksonville. So, Eric, if you have to only pick 2 of these guys, Kareem Hunt, Matt Breida, and Aaron Jones, who are you picking? Kareem Hunt, I believe, coming off of a good Week 4 performance, his best of the season.
He played very well against a good defensive line of Denver. I can't sit Kareem Hunt. I really can't. Especially in that offense. I know the matchup's bad, but I'm still going to roll with Kareem Hunt. Although I'm pretty sure there's a stat saying, no, that was the Ravens. Never mind. Yeah, I'll roll with Kareem Hunt.
All right.
That's tough because Breida has a really good matchup, but so does Jones. I like Jones more. Give me Aaron Jones. Kareem Hunt.
I'll bench Aaron Jones only because I worry about if they can't get the passing game going because of the injuries, how over-reliant are they going to be on the run game, and will Aaron Jones be less efficient than he normally is? So I think you got to play Kareem Hunt. You got to start Kareem Hunt. I know it's frustrating, but listen, if you're a Kareem Hunt owner, you already know it comes with the territory. He can win you the week. He can just totally bomb out. That's a risk you got to take. So Kareem Hunt for sure, but I'll lean Breida over Aaron Jones.
That's fair.
All right, Eric, this is a trade question coming in from Elser, Mr. Man, Corey Allen. Would you trade Jared Cook for Jimmy Graham? Who'd you rather have the rest of the season?
Am I really about to say I'd rather keep Cook?
I think you are.
I think I am. Yeah, I think I'd rather keep Jared Cook right now.
Yeah, I think I would too. I'm rolling with the hot hand, man. Listen, when it comes to tight ends, nobody's predictable. It's like the Wild West out here. You got to roll with whoever is hot. I would keep Jared Cook. I mean, he's been playing well. And Derek Carr is throwing the ball a lot this season. And I understand Aaron Rodgers throws the ball a lot too, but Derek Carr throws the ball a lot. 169 passes already through 4 games. He's averaging 42 passes a game. That's wild.
Yeah.
1,300 yards.
I think Jimmy Graham's done. I think he's finished. I think he's washed. And Cook looks good. Like you said, the Raiders are chucking the ball a ton. Their offense on the low end has actually been really good this season. Like, it actually has not been bad. Like, Lynch looks good. Carr, I know, has had some struggles, but last week he tore it up. Jordy Nelson still looked good. I mean, I kind of like the Oakland offense.
All right. By the way, Derek Carr, the 5th most passing attempts through 4 weeks.
Here you go.
So I like it. I would keep Jared Cook, as weird as that sounds. All right, Eric, let's keep it rolling here. Andy Dalton or Matthew Stafford this week? This is coming in from actual friend of the pod, Clint Goslin at Eastwood FF.
Are you implying that Tom Brady's not an actual friend of the pod? Are you implying that Google is not a friend of the pod?
I didn't say that. I said that.
You said that.
Answer the question.
I will go Dalton.
Yeah.
I have no faith in Miami's defense.
I am also going to go Andy Dalton, so I have him ranked as a top 5 quarterback this week initially. I'm starting to worry about the running back situation and who is playing or who isn't playing, but Dalton is hot and Matthew Stafford is okay. So Andy Dalton's a top 10 quarterback, 10th overall so far this season. I think you got to roll with him until he proves otherwise. AJ Green and Tyler Boyd have proved to be great options. And we talked about Uzomah as a sneaky support guy. So I'll stay with Andy Dalton this week.
Agreed.
Oh, man, stop agreeing with me. All right, here we go.
Maybe we're about to disagree right now.
All right, I think Clint's just setting us up on this one. But Aaron Rodgers with a depleted wide receiving core, Eric, or Blake Bortles against a just horrid Kansas City defense? Who are you going to go with?
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, no way.
I'm never Bortles.
Man, I'm going Blake Bortles here.
Yeah, I know you would.
All day, man. All day.
All right, everybody. That's a show. See you later.
That secondary is terrible in Kansas City. Come on.
I'm still going Rodgers.
I don't know, man.
I don't even care if I'm being naive right now. I'm going Rodgers.
When in doubt, Blake Bortles. That's the answer. When in doubt, Blake Bortles.
Blake. Sad to get that out.
What?
Blakey. That's Bortles. I hate him. I just had a Bortles breakdown. There you go.
Yeah, that was a very very hot take right there.
Can't wait to go back and watch that.
All right, Eric. Price check. Alshon Jeffrey blew up last week. Had a great first week. Kenyon Drake has been an absolute mess so far this season. So this trade question's coming in from Fantasy Ray. He asked if we would trade. He has Alshon Jeffrey to get Kenyon Drake.
This is a real question, isn't it? No.
This is a serious. So if this was preseason, right? This is like a total 180 from the preseason. This would be you'd be like, no way, Kenyon Drake, right? I mean, come on. But no, you got a healthy Carson Wentz, and you got Alshon Jeffrey as the only legitimate outside option on that offense. Alshon Jeffrey is a hot target right now. I'd be trading for Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near Kenyon Drake right now. Alshon Jeffrey all the way.
All right. I completely agree. And Eric, let's wrap up this episode here with a question, a tough one from, actually, I don't know if this is a tough one. I don't think it's very tough for me. It might be tough for you. Patrick Moran at AZWild 1997. I hope that doesn't mean he's a Cardinals fan. Sorry about that, Patrick. Although I do think Josh Rosen's going to do great this week. But his actual question is, would you take Adrian Peterson or Marshawn Lynch this week?
You go first since it's not tough for you. It's kind of tough.
Is it tough for you? I am glad he asked this question because Marshawn Lynch has been blowing up this season. I will be the first one to admit that I thought Marshawn Lynch was done. I thought he was too old. I thought he was too gassed. He had too much tread on the tires. But he has been freaking explosive this season so far. And I took him as a stash in a couple leagues just in case. And he's in all my starting lineups this week. I am excited about Marshawn Lynch this season. 68 attempts, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. And we mentioned it's an offense that's getting a ton of snaps this season. He ran for 130 yards on 20 carries last week against Cleveland. That was actually the only game he hasn't had a touchdown this season. He had a touchdown against the Rams, the Broncos, and the Dolphins. 2 good defenses there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll go Marshawn.
I want to look up overall. He might. I'm trying to see if he has like the most snaps of just any player. He had that looks like 8th most snaps for running backs in week 3, and he's looking like a top 15 snaps guy each week for running backs. I mean, he's getting the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's look good. When we were talking about it in the preseason, and I went back to look at his stats from last year, he really wasn't. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So I guess we shouldn't be too surprised that he's doing this well. I love Marshawn. I'm so glad he's doing well because he is the definition of the word fun.
All right, Eric. I think that's what we got for everyone here today. Before we wrap up, I want to please encourage you to go ahead and hit subscribe. If you're listening to the audio, because this is getting released as a normal podcast as well, if you're listening to the audio and you aren't subscribing to us on iTunes or Podbean or Stitcher, please go ahead and do that. Give us a rate and review. If you're watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed our little experiment here today. If you can go ahead and hit subscribe on YouTube, that'd be fantastic. As far as tomorrow, I'll be on Twitter. You can still send some more start-sit questions my way. I'll be playing on Draft as well. If you use the promo code TOP2, you can get a free $3 entry to play along with me if you're a first-time user on Draft. Eric, any last-minute advice for the people? I should point out as well, we're trying this out on Saturday this week because it's a test run. We should be going live next Sunday morning for Week 6.
For all my gambling degenerates out there, bet Conor McGregor tonight. He's going to sleep Khabib in 1. Called it now. Heard it here first.
All right. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like a good fight, I guess.
Later, taters.